much does sharpness matter?
Everybody knows that a sharper sword cuts better, so a sharper sword is just better, right?
Well, there's some context we have to talk about. So it depends on how you're using the sword. If you've got a sword as a sidearm and you're off on the battlefield, sharpness isn't quite as important.
On a battlefield, everybody's gonna have some level of armor, even if it's just a gambeson.
And a halfway decent gambeson is gonna stop most of the cuts that a sword's gonna deal. Sure, it's gonna suck to get hit with, but you're probably not gonna get an arm lopped off.
That's why on the battlefield, you're generally gonna be doing thrusting techniques.
A gambeson isn't gonna stop a well-placed thrust from a sword.
That's also why swords weren't the primary weapon on the battlefield anyway. You're generally be using some sort of polearm.
So for a battlefield sidearm, sharpness is nice, but it's not the most important thing.
But if you're in an unarmored duel,
now sharpness is super important. Civilian clothing is a lot less protected than gambeson, but it can still mess up a cut.
Okay, it hit the shirt and I could feel it twist and rip through. So it did kind of gum up the cut because the edge alignment wasn't good enough.
If your edge alignment isn't good, if you don't have enough power, it can make it so it hurts, but it won't cut through.
But if your sword is sharp, that doesn't really matter. It'll just cleave right through.
The sharpest sword we own. So in a civilian duel where you don't have to worry about your sword getting knocked around, no one has armor, the sharper the sword you can be, the better.